everybody, this is Rue back again, and today we'll be looking at Tailmon and Gatomon Digivolving figure from the Digivolving Spirits by Tamashii Nations and Bandai. Up here it says it's apparently a die-cast evolution, and it's a figure that I didn't think I was gonna get, but I saw it cheap on eBay, so I bought it. And by cheap I mean about 65 bucks. Anyways, let's take a look at the box real quick. You get real nice artwork of Angewomon and Tailmon. You get the Japanese logo and all of that stuff, Digimon. On the side, you get some nice product shots of Angewomon, and on the other side, you get a nice product shot of Tailmon. On the back, you get product shots and just the different parts that are actually die cast. They show, like, the helmet has die cast, the breastplate has die cast, the leg or the foot has some die cast in it, and the actual hinge here has die cast. I don't think that really counts, but I guess they counted it. So they just 15 and up, and on the back right here it shows the next coming up will be Alphamon. On the bottom, nothing much, and on the top, nothing much. Alright, so let's open this up and take a look at the figure inside. And the first thing you'll notice, there's no figure inside because I already took her out. It comes in the Angewomon form, and it's just a clamshell kind of thing. And it actually comes in 3 layers, so I just want to show that off. And before you actually start messing with the figure, I really recommend you look at the instruction book, as this is a weird kind of Digivolving figure, as it kind of reminds me of a Figuarts figure, just combined with a outer shell kind of thing. It's very delicate, and you've got to be careful because the paint sometimes rubs off. It even says here, warning, may rub off. So yep, just take a look at that and just be very careful, because I think I actually did rub off some of the paint. But yeah. And here is Tailmon out of the packaging, and as you can see, it's a very good representation of her anime counterpart. She's very adorable and chibi-esque, and it looks great from the front. The back, however, is kind of a different story. You can see there's some kibble on the back, some Angewomon kibble. You can see her hands clearly there, and you can see some of her hair. And like I said, it's kind of like a shell for her, basically. But other than that, it looks pretty okay. On the side, again, you probably wouldn't want to pose this sideways either. But other than that, the paint is really good, and the sculpting is very nice. It's got this kind of matted finish to it, and yeah, there's not a lot to say in this form. Her ears kind of do move. There's no articulation. Pretty much the only thing you can really move are her hands to a certain extent, just a little bit in and out, and you can move her paws a little bit if you want, but you know, you risk showing some of the actual kibble. And her feet can move a little bit forwards and back, but again, you can see some Angewomon kibble if you don't pose her correctly, and you get some ankle tilts and forwards backwards on the feet. But overall, it's a pretty decent attempt at a figure like this, and as you can see, it kind of opened up a bit. Getting her into this form is kind of a pain in the butt, but once you get a hold of it, it's, I guess, pretty good. Like I said, it's kind of fragile, so you might want to be careful. So, again, this is a pretty good form, and yeah. So I guess we'll get into transforming the figure. Before I transform her, though, here's just a quick comparison with the latest figure I just reviewed, which is Omnimon or Megamon variant. That was a model kit. Take a look at my other videos to see that review. And as you can see, she's obviously not in scale, but of course you can't really expect her to be. And she runs just about at his chest. And if it seems like I'm breathing heavy, it's 100 degrees right now. I have no fan and I have a bunch of lights on top of me, and so just bear with me there. To start off, we'll just pull these two pieces apart and then push them down. Pull them like this and pull them down, and this one too. Revealing some sort of wings, faux wings. You want to push her tail like so down, and then push this piece up. Push her paws upwards like so. Push her paws upwards. This back section can actually hinge, so it can move back, and we can pull her feet down. Just move the camera up a bit, and as you can see, she's look, we got a pretty silly look there. You pull her feet forward or rotate them. Okay, I think the boot's on a rotating hinge, and we could leave her like this and she could be some sort of furry, but we don't want to do that. So this is on a hinge, kind of weird hinge. You push it to the front, I think, like that. Yeah, so you just push it like that and then move it to the back, revealing her face. And then you want to pull her self a little bit out, and you can pull these wings up on her head, and then you can actually push that back. So, and these bottom wings, you can really just pose them as whatever you want, however you want them to. There's really not a preference, as long as they just look good. And then we will transform her wings, or actually we'll do her arms. Now this is a pretty hard part because her arms are kind of fragile. They can pop off easily, her hands. So what you do is you move this up like so, because it's on a ball joint, and then there's a hinge, a little joint right here where you can just rotate that down, and that makes kind of her feather kind of things on her hands. And then you do the same with this one here. You push this, and as you can see, her hand fell off. It's very, very fragile with the ball joints on this figure. But the same thing, you just move this up and then you rotate it. I just put her hand back. It's on a ball joint. It's easily put back on. And then you just push her wings, separate them. They're actually her ears. And then on the back of that, there are like wings hidden behind, and you just rotate them out like so. It's kind of fiddly, but you can do this like this, and then you can move these wings out like so, and you're kind of stuck. Oh, here's the problem. This should be pushed up like that, and now the wings can come out. Sorry, this figure is very, very finicky. And you just rotate these wings out like so, and then just work on positioning everything just how you like. And there you have, actually her thing fell off. There you go. And there you have Angewomon. Angewomon. You have Tailmon in her Angewomon form. Tailmon. I meant to say Tailmon. And there you have it. And that just looks amazing. Pretty close to the anime counterpart, just except for those things in the back. It looks great. There's nothing more I can say about it besides the amount of detail they put into her sculpt. Just looks awesome. The paint is great. But like I said, you have to be very careful because it could rub off. Here's the die cast here, and in her helmet, I could actually feel the metal. And on her, but yeah. That actually didn't, there you go. I don't know why my camera didn't focus, but it looks great from the front. But again, from the side and the back, it doesn't look so great. I mean, you really can't expect much with the transformation and all that. But there is one good thing you can do here, and the good thing about her back being so full of kibble is that it actually makes her stand. You don't have to worry about her stability because these two wings in the back actually hold her up, so you don't have to worry about that. And then some of the problems I had was this thing actually comes off. The whole back comes off. That's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, the bad thing is that it's really just a shell, really, you just put over the figure. But the good thing is you can see her back now. Some of the paint rubbed off. It seems to have gotten worse actually on her butt. Damn, I didn't see that. That actually did scuff up some more. So this may come off with some rubbing, but yeah, you've got to be very careful with this figure. There's a little hole where this pegs into, her shell pegs into. But while we have the shell off, we can actually go through the articulation. And let me just move this up. For articulation, her head is on a ball joint. Can move up and down just a little bit, not too much, and can pivot a little bit. Her hair is actually on ball joints. Again, that's not a good thing because they do fly off a lot of times when you're transforming her. That's a thumbnail shot there. Her hands, her arms can go in and out. They're kind of on a butterfly joint, kind of, but not really. Her elbows can bend, and rotate because they're on a ball point. They're on a ball joint, and her hands are on a ball joint. They can rotate, but that's pretty much all you're gonna get because they just like to pop off. She's got a diaphragm joint, so she can move back and forward just a little bit. She's got no waist joint, but that's fine. Her legs can spread apart that much, so that's pretty decent, and they can kick forward just a little bit. Actually, I think that's where the paint kind of rubbed off there. That's kind of bothering me now real bad. Damn. But anyways, she can't really move her legs too far forward just because of the transformation and everything. She got a double jointed knee because of the transformation mainly, but yeah. And her boots can rotate, and they do actually move forwards and backwards as well. So they move forwards and backwards. No ankle tilt, I think. Oh, there's a little bit of ankle tilt, and then her boot can actually rotate as well. So let me just peg this back actually. It's kind of hard to peg back, but once you get her in the pose you want, she's pretty stable. So she's a really good figure overall, and I would definitely recommend getting it because of just how awesome the detail is. The die cast is really cool. Her Tailmon form is, while it's simple, it's good, and it does the job well. So the only thing left is to actually show you how to transform her back, because this is a problem that I've had the first time I had her. I mean, the first time I opened the box. So to transform her back, I just take the whole thing off. And I start with this. So like I said, you just rotate these wings in. And that's pretty much all you have to do with that. Oh, besides rotating the wings in, you want to align them so they make the ears. Like so. And then you want to take her and fix her arms up. Like I said, this is on a hinge, so you just move this. You rotate this, and then you just push this down so that it makes that again. And you want to make sure her legs are as straight as possible and aligned as possible, because the alignment of the legs is really what lets you put the outer shell back on without it having problems with sticking, with the pegs not sticking together. You just rotate her boots to the back, and then you want to push her legs up onto her butt. That rhymed. And then you want to have them as aligned as possible, like parallel, like this. And hopefully that is good enough. All right. Once that's done, you can connect the peg to her back. And you want to make sure her feet are going in those grooves right there. So if I did everything right, it should all align together and peg together. So you want to lift her cat body back up and her feet, rotate them up, and then you want to peg these together. Another thing is, and I forgot to mention this, okay, here's another problem. Her hair gets in the way. So you want to make sure her hair is actually inside the cat body. So make sure the hair is inside of the cat body. Yeah. Sorry if this is kind of jumpy. She's kind of finicky. Okay, now you can push her legs in, and then you can peg them in like so. And then do the same with the other leg. Then just connect those together, and then just peg these together from the back. There you go. And then push the feet up and align everything up, and you get a very funny Angewomon. And then you want to push her wings back on her head, and then just put the head on. Like, I remember that hinge I told you about. Make sure that hinge is up, and then you can just push this up a bit. This thing goes forward, and then just push the cat head back so that it looks fine, and then push this joint back up. Okay, and then you just fix her tail up. And there you have her back in cat mode. And here's just a quick comparison again with Omegomon, and as you can see, she's roughly the same height as him. You see, she almost fell there, but the wings caught her. And that looks pretty good they look pretty good together, actually. I really do hope they do release a Patamon Digivolving figure as well. I really recommend this figure if you're a fan of Digimon in general, or Angewomon, or the Digivolving series, the new Digivolving series. It's just great. The detail, paint, the transformation, while quite finicky, it's not enough to deter me from this figure, and hopefully it doesn't deter you from this figure, because it is a pretty good attempt to have Angewomon and Tailmon, and I really do hope they do release a Patamon / Angewomon figure, and I think I might actually pick up the Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon. I'm still on the fence about that one. Anyways, this has been my review. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, smash that like button and maybe even subscribe. Anyways, that's pretty much it, and stay tuned for more.